Man, oh man, if I had $1 for every time someone complained about fucking something, I would not have to work full time ever fucking again. This show, to be honest with you guys, a lot of people saying it was really good. A lot of people saying it was really bad. Me personally, I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was fantastic. I guess I'm in the middle here, so I thought the show was pretty good for the most part here. How's it going, everybody? My name is Jordan, and welcome to J-Card Wrestling. I do podcasts here on YouTube. Just started out a couple weeks ago here. Slowly working my way up here. I only have 6 subs, which is actually kind of a hell lot more than I thought I'd get doing this ever. So, hey, my 6 subs. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it here. Hopefully, in a year from now, we have 600, and hopefully from 10 years from now, we have 60 million. So, hey, that'd be fucking cool, right? So, in this podcast, we're going to do the Survivor Series 2018 review here. Man, you know, I was watching the show, you know, I'm sitting on my couch, watching the whole damn show, and I was excited for it for a while. I was excited for the show. You know, initially we had this massive stacked up card with with Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, and then Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. And man, did it turn 180 pretty fucking fast. Within 6 days, the main events were changed. You know, one was had by force, one was because of creative decision, I guess, or something happened behind scene. I don't really fucking know. But man, this what initially would turn to be a great stacked card turned out to be probably a mediocre card, except for the one match with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. And I guess you could throw Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar in there. But you know, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect for the Ronda Rousey match. And we didn't know expect the Daniel Bryan match. So, you know, I think we got what we got. I think he did the best with both situations here. With Charlotte, you know, and Ronda, you know, obviously this is going to continue. It has to continue. How the fuck would it not continue? You know, we can't just leave it there and let it go. Is this going to go to the Rumble? Or is it going to go to Mania? Is this going to affect Becky Lynch's push? We'll get into more on that later on here. And then Daniel Bryan with almost upsetting Brock Lesnar. You know, I almost fucking jumped out my went down my living room. I was so damn excited I thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. But he just barely lost, and just a couple of seconds, you know, a little longer, I think Daniel could have had Lesnar tapped out. But, you know, it is what it is. They made a decision for a reason, and I hope we get, honestly, I hope we get rematches for both. I don't know how we do that since they're both different brands here. I'm sure Charlotte and Ronda are a little easier than Brock and Daniel, but I hope one day we see Brock and Daniel wrestle again here. For the most part, I thought the show was pretty damn good. There were a couple things I thought, what the fuck. We had a surprise appearance from Enzo Amore, out of all fucking people in this whole world. Apparently he was spotted by this first match of the night in a hoodie and a wig, I guess. And then right at the beginning of the, the bar and AOP match, he popped up and was doing his whole Enzo Amore promo speech he did when he was employed with the company. I did see it. I'll get more in detail later, but I did see it when it initially happened. But I didn't see most of it. I just saw him getting pulled down, and I thought, what a crazy-ass fan, and it turns out it was Enzo Amore. So, we had a couple of different shockers, a couple of different disappointments. We'll get more into all of that here soon. I initially was going to live stream this last night, but, you know, I recently got promoted at work here, so I am working a few extra hours here, and I just kind of wanted to fucking sleep, to be honest with you. So this channel will continue here. I don't know if the live streams will be as prevalent as I like them to be, but I'll definitely come up with reviews here still. So if you guys, you know, I'll definitely be up here on some nights I'll off for sure. But if you guys like what you hear, please subscribe. Please like the video. I am not a what you call a very what's what I'm looking for here, like an over dramatic wrestling personality commentator. I don't freak out over things. I don't like lose my shit over something I don't like. I don't do any of that here. I am fucking nuts, I'll tell you that right now. But I don't by any means, you know, I don't overreact. I don't, you know, wish people to death. You know, I just shit like that you hear all the time from wrestling fans. So if you guys like what you hear, we all just hang out here. This channel, we just hang out, you know, talk about wrestling, you know, and have a beer. Why don't we get to the top of the card here? So we had the pre-show at, well, I started watching at 5:30 my time. I live in Pennsylvania, so Eastern time, watching at 5:30. It was just a panel. I think like at 6:15 they started off with the tag team matches, the SmackDown tag teams versus the Raw tag teams. And you know, I didn't really pay Jesus Christ, I did not pay too much attention to it. But you know, it was pretty good. The ending was pretty damn fucking good. But you know, SmackDown wins in the end here. But one thing that really pissed me off, and I will tell you guys, I don't have very many notes for the whole show here. I don't have very many notes. I just have who won and what significant things happened within the match. So if you're looking for in-depth review on every single match, that's not me. That's not this pay-per-view. I'm just gonna go over what happened. But one thing that did piss me off was that with the scoreboard, and this, I just mentioned this on my Twitter, and actually my tweet had a couple different retweets from people and likes, is that why the fuck was the SmackDown win for the tag teams not including the scoreboard? I mean, the win was on the pre-show, and WWE still says that the pre-show is part of the show. Well, apparently fucking not if you're not counting the score from the pre-show into the actual scoreboard. So it should have been 6-1 as the final score, not 6-0. So WWE is just, you know, obviously being, yeah, they're also shooting themselves in the foot and they're being hypocrites about it. You know, it's fucking stupid. So I don't understand why it wasn't part of the show. If you say that the pre-show is part of the show, that probably includes a fucking scoreboard, WWE. So I don't know, it just pisses me off. Not right. But anyways, the Usos win for the SmackDown tag team division. And, you know, a lot of the people on Raw, like, oh my fucking god, the Colognes, like, when the fuck did we see those guys? They just brought them up for this, and then, you know, you have the Revival, who aren't doing much, and then the Ascension, I believe, and, you know, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I just, you know, see these guys, but of course you do it for something like this. I don't know, just gotta fit everyone in the card, I guess. It's fucking stupid. SmackDown wins, the only win for the night. No matter what WWE says, they can say the score is 6-0, but you know, in the IWC community, we're gonna tell you that. I said community twice. The Internet Wrestling community. Jesus. We're gonna count 6-1. So fuck you, WWE. Stupid. Don't count that in the show. Moving on here. We had the women's tag team from Raw and SmackDown stuff, the main roster, or I'm sorry, the main show here, and I was a little surprised about it, to be honest with you. I thought they'd push this. I thought it'd be all the mid-card stuff, then the tag teams, and then the titles. I guess you could space it out. That's fine with me. But I bet people will be like, oh, burying the woman, you're putting them in the fucking beginning of the show. You know, it's not necessarily true. I mean, if you put someone else in the beginning of the show, like, I don't know, if you would have put fucking Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura the first show, you tell us that Seth Rollins and Shinsuke are getting buried, you know? So whatever. But anyways, initially, there's there a video going around about fucking Natty and Ruby Riott getting in a fight. I mean, obviously it was scripted and staged, but is there a video they're gonna fight and they're both eliminated from the pay-per-view? I didn't know about that. I had no idea until the show actually started. I guess I wasn't paying attention. You guys can fill me in. I feel stupid not knowing, but I don't fucking know. But so anyways, they replaced them with Bayley and Sasha, which kind of explains why they were kind of left off the card here initially. And I guess Ruby Riott and Natty are gonna start a feud of their own. But Bayley and Sasha join in the women's tag team match. And then I guess who fucking won? I guess Raw won, right? Yeah, Raw won. Again, nothing extreme happened during there. Pretty solid little match. Nia got fucking booed out of the fucking Staples Center. I mean, my god, I was booing from home. I actually like Nia, but I was booing her just because I was one of the thousands of people that were pissed. I will give you that. I was 1,000 people that were pissed. I'll give you that. I was pissed about that. But I didn't wish death upon her. I didn't wish she was fired. I didn't wish, you know... I think she gets back to developmental. I think she was back to NXT, but I didn't wish anything like for her to get fired or anything like that. But I was booing from home, I guess. My girlfriend looked over and thought I was stupid. But you know, she got some serious heat. But she wins for Raw. She pins Asuka, and I'm sure... you know what? I believe that WWE probably said just to do that, just to piss off the fans. because it creates actual heat. I think that's genius because it'd be really cool. I mean, why? How can you piss the fans off more? They're already pissed off. How can you piss them off a little more? Hey, why don't we have Nia pin Asuka clean? You know, it's like and it was good. It was good. I liked it. I think Nia's taking advantage of this. I don't blame her. Good for her. Clearly, it was an accident, unless something comes out later and says that she did it on purpose. This was an accident, but she's making the best of it, and I don't fucking blame her. Does she need to be brought back down to NXT? I don't think, like, full-blown. I think she needs to go off TV for a little bit. Maybe we should just do, like, an angle where she's injured, and then, you know, say that she's injured, and then just kind of put down NXT for maybe, like, 2-3 months, and have her come back for WrestleMania or something like that. You know, I think that's what they need to do. Maybe after this. I mean, she's going to feud. Who should we be feuding with now? Should we be feuding with anybody at the moment? And she just teamed up with Snuka's daughter, Tamina. Yeah, I don't know who her feud would be with Ember Moon. I mean, fuck's sake, I'm tired of seeing that shit. So the only logical person would be Becky Lynch, which is fine. If you want to do Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax at TLC, that's fine too. But don't take the Becky Lynch push and not have her fight against Ronda later. Have Charlotte and Ronda have their feud, and have Nia and Becky have their feud somehow on TLC. Fine, do that. But then you gotta go back on track to what the original plan was at Mania, like Charlotte versus Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. I think what the original plan was, you can keep it, but finish out these feuds a little bit. I mean, you're obviously gonna have to extend Ronda and Charlotte for a little bit, have them fight another match, or hell, you know, hold it off for a while. You know, say that, you know, Ronda can't compete for how long, or can't compete for 30 days, and she just makes the deadline for her to still have the title, but just barely, so she can't compete in TLC, so they hold off till Mania or whatever, or something, you know, have that continue to Mania, but having this Nia and Becky Lynch program, you know, do that first, and then have her move on to, you know, somehow maybe a three-way. Yeah, I should say that really well with a three woman. Have move on somehow, you know, the Ronda feud. You know, I guess my overall thing is kind of do what WWE was doing. You know, if it ends up being Becky Lynch versus Ronda at Mania, fine. If it ends up being Charlotte versus Ronda at Mania, fine. But do not stop pushing Becky Lynch. You know, she's moving up to, she's skyrocketing right now. She's skyrocketing. You know, she's white hot in WWE right now. So don't stop that push. That's all I ask, WWE. Don't stop that push. But moving on here for the women's match. Oh shit, I forgot. I guess Nia turns on Sasha Banks, and then turns on Raw. You know, whatever else. And she's getting Becky Lynch chance and all that shit during a match. So, forgot to mention that too. Next, then we have Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Pretty good, solid match. People probably tell you this is the best technical match of the night, and I'll probably agree. To be honest with you, I think the best technical match, really, was the 205 Live guys. God damn, guys. But, you know, not much happened here. It was a pretty good match. I was waiting for Dean Ambrose to come out. He never came. You know, he wasn't even on the fucking show. Neither was AJ Styles, so that was kind of fucking weird. Like, they better shut up out of nowhere, but they didn't. But, you know, Seth won clean, and Nakamura lost, and people were thinking Nakamura's buried, which is not the case because of the circumstance here. Just SmackDown versus Raw doesn't mean he's buried. But I was waiting for Dean Ambrose, and then when Seth pinned Nakamura clean, I was waiting for some sort of brutal attack or something, but, you know, nothing ever came of it. It just kind of just died, you know? Like, it just died. So, you know, I guess we're going to wait till Monday Night Raw to see what Dean Ambrose does. Maybe just give him the night off or something. I'm sure he's backstage or something, but I don't know. I just would expect something from Dean Ambrose. But Seth Rollins wins by the curb stomp 1, 2, 3. Then this is a funny segment. We had a backstage segment with the Raw brand, and then they start fighting in the back, and fucking R-Truth comes out of nowhere. He says, "Guys, we gotta stick together." And Gordon's like, "You're not on our show." I just thought it was funny. And then, like, after the next match they had, they go back to SmackDown brand, and R-Truth's like, "Oh man, this is crazy on Raw right now," which is true in real life aspect. This is fucking crazy on Raw right now. And he wants to be inserted into the match. Yeah, he's just funny. I fucking love R-Truth. He's hilarious. But after all those segments, we have the AOP and Bar match. And then here's what's interesting. In the beginning of the match, right at the beginning, you see some guy in a blue shirt, white hair, standing up on the TV, like waving his arms and shit. And people are recording him and looking at that. And initially, I was like, what? Everyone's turning their head, and the hard cams are looking at the ring. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, did someone like collapse? Someone propose? Like, what happened? Is someone, God forbid, putting a bomb somewhere in it? Like, what the fuck's going on? People are like looking, like everyone's looking in a certain direction, and you see someone get pulled down. I'm like, is some guy like showing his dick on TV or something? What the hell's going on? And then I look on Twitter, and it's fucking Enzo Amore, of all people. It's like, what the fuck? And apparently he was cited, or noted, I guess. Jeez, what the fuck am I trying to say here? He was spotted. By, like, I believe the Nakamura and Shinsuke and Rollins match. He was spotted, like, in a hoodie and the wig and all that. And I don't know if WWE noticed that, and, like, I'm not sure what the reason of him standing up and doing it was. His whole point, the hijack the show, was the whole point, trying to just be a dick, I guess. I wonder if he knew that WWE knew he was there and they're trying to get him out, which I'm not really sure why they try to get him out. He's just fucking sitting there. I don't know, just wrestling guys. You know how wrestling is, but in WWE. But he gets up on the chair and like does this whole Enzo Amore thing. Goes, you can't teach that and all that shit, And then that woman security guard who apparently stopped the Gronk at Mania, didn't know about the storyline. She pulls him out and they take him out. And then apparently Bryan Alvarez reported about 20 minutes later saying that he was not in custody, but he's being questioned by the police department. And then he tweeted like an hour later something that like he's still God or still whatever. Still a certified G, I think he said. So that was weird. I'm not sure what that was about. I'm not sure, why it was like that. I've been hearing that he dropped new music, so people are gonna look him up and see new music. And I mean, all right, good ploy, man. Good way to market yourself, but get myself like an asshole at the same time. And trust me, man, I'm in the music business. I know how music works and the business side works. Promote yourself. That was not a really smart way. It was kind of a smart way, but kind of a dumb way, So, in the situation that we had there, so whatever. But anyways, moving on here. I completely kind of avoided the match. I was trying to see what the hell was going on with Enzo and what the fuck he was doing there. So the only thing I noted in this thing was that I wasn't it. Drake Maverick apparently pissed himself. I'm sure it was some sort of water ball in there. Maybe he did pee himself. If he did, good for him. Somebody needs to get me in a raise. I hate sitting in my own pee. But he pissed himself because Big Show scares a shit out of him. Whatever. AOP wins 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think it was probably my least favorite match. I was looking forward to the whole night, to be honest with you. So that was it with that. Moving on, it was Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy, and holy shit. Man, those guys know how to fucking perform, man. I think they almost stole the show. Couple backflips off the tables, all these fucking crazy ass moves. Buddy Murphy wins, which we all kind of expected. But it was they almost stole the fucking show. I love 205 Live. I wish they did a little more in the main roster. But they took it off, I think, because of TV ratings and all that. And I think what did they do? They put it on the WWE Network, but did they record it? Like before SmackDown and tapings, I don't know what to do. I think they do to balance out the even shows, like to have, Raw have 3.5 hours of, content or whatever else. Probably the same thing with that for SmackDown, like 205 before SmackDown and Nixon match. That's about 3 hours there. So I don't know, but it was a pretty good match. Buddy Murphy wins. Like to see those guys more in a pay-per-view setting. Like to see them in the upper cards. People will be excited for it eventually, but. I mean, I was never a big 205. I was never a cruiserweight fan, to be honest with you. Nothing against them. I had nothing against them. It just that wasn't in my taste. But now I'm seeing more of this shit. It's kind of becoming my taste now. So I like to see them more in the spotlight, if you will. And it doesn't have the main event. Just more. I want to see them a little more on actual television, not on a network. To be honest with you, I think they deserve a little more than just the network. Next, we have the men's 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown. Again, it's one of those things where a couple of good things happened, not much happened. The only thing noted was that Samoa Joe got squashed 1-2-3 by fucking Drew McIntyre with a Claymore kick. People were fucking pissed. They were chanting bullshit. Man, that crowd was hot. They hated that, so Joe's just getting fucking almost buried again. Almost, but, he'll be fine. Can you imagine a Samoa Joe and a Drew McIntyre feud in WWE? Dude, pass me the fucking lotion, man. I'd love to see that again. But, nothing significant happened. Shane McMahon had a couple coast to coast. He jumped off the turnbuckle onto the announce table, and Braun Strowman. I couldn't think of anything else off my head here. I didn't leave very many notes because I was just trying to watch it. But, you had eventually the end, you had Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to expect anything. I had that vibe that I was supposed to expect something, like an interference or a turn or those three imploding on one another. I don't know. But at the end there, you have Shane McMahon kind of doing the whole just bring it like The Rock does to Braun. Braun puts him in the corner. And then power slams on 1-2-3, and that was it. Shane McMahon got murdered again for like the 30 in a row in Survivor Series. So, it was weird. He had, I predicted, I didn't do a prediction video, but I predicted the Raw to win because of who they fucking had. So I was right, but I guess I wasn't expecting like all the monsters to be the end result here of the match. You want to be realistic? That was probably the most realistic right there, to be honest with you. Except the Samoa Joe thing. I think he should have been the last one in there, not Shane McMahon. But, if we would be realistic, I guess that's the realistic way. But Raw wins, but makes it 5-1, guys. 5-1. Not 5-0 at this point. 5-1. Fuck you, WWE. Last two matches we have here. Holy shit. Man, the show, I thought, at this point was kind of like just dragging on. I'm like, oh my god. And finally, it was kind of unexpected, I guess. It was pretty damn good. The last two matches, first up we had a Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, and Jesus Christ, I think this 100% stole the show. If you look back on the Survivor Series, this is the one thing you'll probably remember the most of. And Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar too, but this is one thing you'll definitely reference back on for, I'm sure, for a while. I'm sure WWE will probably drill it in our head tonight and tomorrow. But it was a pretty fucking good match. For only having like 5 days to prepare for this, goddamn. Props to those girls. They were awesome. It was awesome, man. I genuinely cannot wait for the next match. It was a fucking good match. Charlotte can tell a story like her old man can. Ronda is doing so much better. I think she's kind of like the female Kurt Angle, coming from outside and just kind of taking this different sport, making her own, and becoming the best at it. So I'm pretty excited for it. Sorry if I heard that in the background. A fucking car drove by. My walls are apparently like made of a wet napkin. But anyways, it was a pretty good match. You had at the end of it Charlotte hitting her with the kendo stick, and I'm like, oh, I should have expected a no contest. I should have, because Ronda didn't really lose. Well, she won technically by DQ, but Charlotte didn't lose either. I don't know if they were doing a story where Charlotte's losing her, her mojo, no pun intended for Mojo Rawley, but started losing her confidence and things. She's like a mental breakdown. I get this vibe that he's doing this storyline where Ronda's starting to lose her shit. Fine. It's fine. I had no problem with this segment, actually. And then you had her beat the shit out of her with a chair, with a kendo stick, and then she does the whole neck stomp on the chair thing, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin on his Twitter, somewhere, his podcast, said that no, professional wrestling is back, which I kind of chuckled at because it's always been there, but I know what he meant by this. Fine, I like to see stuff like this, something new. This is probably like tier fucking 10 in today's day and age when you see something like that, but back in the Attitude Era and even like the Ruthless Aggression Era, it was common to see stuff like that. But now in today's age, you're like, oh my god, we make it like, oh my god, this is horrible. Where we've seen much worse, where we've seen Shane McMahon drive Kane through a fucking limo under a semi. So it was a pretty good match. It was probably my favorite on the card, obviously. But you know, what are we gonna have from this? Well, obviously, it's going to continue. This is not going to be the end of it. Is this going to happen at WrestleMania? Maybe. Is Becky Lynch and Ronda going to happen at WrestleMania? Maybe. I just hope what they do it the right way and do it correctly and make it even for everybody. Becky Lynch, I'm telling you, needs to be in the main event with everything, with women's pay-per-view, women's match. She's white hot. You gotta have her. You gotta have her in the main event at WrestleMania somehow. I don't care if it's with Ronda. I don't care if it's with Charlotte and Ronda. I don't care. You need to have her in the main event. Which I was expecting her to show up. She tweeted she was back at home in Ireland, which I thought was a crock of shit. But she could be. I mean, they could have told her to go home for 2 weeks and recover because she's actually injured. So I don't know. But I expected her to at least show up or something, make a distraction for Ronda or you know, something. But that didn't happen. But overall, this is one of my favorite matches on the card. Props to those two, man. I can't wait for the next match, whether it be TLC, the Rumble, or Mania. I don't know. But you know, Becky Lynch is somehow going to incorporate herself in this after her Nia feud. So let's see where we go from there. Last but not surely, holy shit, what we thought was going to be just a squash match in the show got off the air turned to be a 180. I mean, my God, Jesus. Like, what? I was hoping that Daniel Bryan would win, being upset. You know, Daniel Bryan recently won the WWE title on SmackDown. Which made him default into the champion versus champion match on the Survivor Series card. And we saw, I was like, oh shit. They're like, yeah, he's champion, but oh shit. We have to worry about him and Brock. And then you see Daniel comes out, you know, is all cocky and shit, and walks around the ring, and finally Brock gets a hold of him and does a suplex, and he kind of lands on his head. I'm like, motherfucker, Daniel Bryan's back in retirement. Thanks for coming back, D-Bry, for about 8 months here. But, you know, it was a pretty good match. He just squashes him, and then you think that the match is over. Brock Lesnar, he just beats the shit out of him. Suplex City, you know, bear hug, you know, the whole 9 yards, and then he gets on his shoulders, and he gets Dan Bryan on his shoulders, and then he says, "That's it. That's all for the show, boys," or something like that. I fucking laughed. I love Brock Lesnar, dude. He goes, "Thanks for coming," or something like that. Then F5s him, and then tries to pin him 1-2, and then he pulls the head up. He just wants to be the show more, and then people and Michael was like, "The ref's got to call. The ref's got to call it sometime." Like, shut up, Michael Cole. They used to let these guys, not these guys in particular, but they used to let people beat the holy fuck out of each other, like bloody and all that shit, before they called a match. I mean, fuck you. You don't have to call a match anymore. Rarely they ever do that. But then he goes to a second. Daniel Bryan kind of kicks him in the head on the ground, and then Brock Lesnar finally gets a hold of him again, puts him up in the F5 position, starts swinging him, but then Daniel Bryan kicks Mike Chioda in the head on accident in the air. And then Daniel Bryan just nut shots Brock Lesnar as hard as he could in the crotch. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. And then I got excited, running knee after running knee. That crowd popped hard after they were dead. I mean, that crowd went from 0 to fucking 10 in about 30 seconds. So quicker than that, like 10 seconds. Excuse me. So, you know, you had I was so excited. I thought Daniel Bryan was gonna pin him 1, 2, 3, and then he didn't. And then he tried his offense, and Brock just got him at the end, man. F5, then 1, 2, 3, and it was a, you know, the people say a valiant effort for Daniel Bryan storyline. It was a pretty fucking good match. I mean, I hope they do something like this again, and I hope Daniel Bryan one day gets the win over Brock Lesnar. I think he deserves it, and I think he would need it. You know, to have that feat. You know, little Daniel Bryan, David versus Goliath. You know, David beats Goliath. You know, I think that needs to happen again. You know, not so much for title, just needs to happen again. You know, I don't know. It was awesome. I almost shit myself in my living room. I thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. If he would have won, I would have done a naked lap outside my house. I was excited I was for him to win. But unfortunately, he didn't win. But, you know, it's whatever. I mean, this match it doesn't matter anyways. The only thing really done for Daniel Bryan, just give him that little asterisk. They beat Brock Lesnar clean, kinda. But he beat Brock Lesnar nevertheless. So, and fucking Paul Heyman, man. He's so fucking funny, so loud. His hand over his mouth and just so shocked and all that. But that was it. You know, that was the end of the match. I felt good about that match. They did what they needed to do with it. They made it. They executed on it. They did what was best for the match with, you know, two people like this, two completely polar opposite wrestlers. So, overall, would I rate the show? Man, there were really good high points and really bad low points. I don't want to give it a typical 5. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good rating. The only reason why it's so higher than that is because of 2 matches at the end, and everything else was kind of a shit show. I didn't hate the men's 5-on-5. I didn't hate the women's 5-on-5. It was a little boring, but everything else was kind of a shit show. Shinsuke Nakamura was pretty damn good in his match. The 205 Live match was one of my favorites, but everything else in kind of between there just kind of fell flat, to be honest with you. Definitely not one of my favorite Survivor Series cards ever. It wasn't the worst. I've seen worse. But it was pretty damn good for the most part. Again, like I said, some highs, some lows. So it is what it is. Now we kind of start pretty damn soon, and we get in the most boring time of the year. I think one of the most boring times of the year. I think the most boring time is probably June, July, and then part of May, and then December. So we're kind of getting that boring part. Christmas is on the way. They're gonna start very, very, very slowly start storylines for Mania, I'm sure of. So expect that in a couple weeks here, and then whatever feuds happen at TLC happen, whatever title changes happen. But then after the New Year, man, full fucking force into Royal Rumble and then the Mania. So let's see what happens here on Raw tonight. I guess it is Monday afternoon. I'm trying to get there last night, but it's too damn tired. So we'll see what happens here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work. I want to upload this to you guys who listen. I appreciate you guys listening to the whole thing we did. Please like and subscribe this video. Please like this video, subscribe to me. I'll try to be here as much as I can. I tweet all the time on Twitter. So if you guys like what we hear, please subscribe, like the video. Leave a comment. What was your favorite part of Survivor Series, and what was your least favorite part of the Survivor Series? Let me know in the comment section, and I will talk to you guys later on for a Raw review. Take care.